If you're looking for heartbreaking, soul-wrenching, tear-jerking stories and content, this is your guy. He loves the stuff. I don't know what it is, but he's so attracted to these awfully sad stories. Recently he was sharing with me the dark side of like makeovers, home makeover shows, and how like all these amazing, makeovers and all these upgraded rooms these wonderful families get, they wind up like foreclosing on them like a couple years later down the road because they can't afford to keep upkeep,
Absolutely.
can't afford the maintenance.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah, really tragic stories because here these people have this brand new house full of tears of joy, but then months, maybe a year later, just tears of sorrow because they're losing the house. The utilities are crazy, the taxes are crazy. It is hard to sell it, just the overall upkeep. And these are just factors that weren't accounted for. So yeah, it broke my heart just to hear about that because that's just something I never thought about, something that just wasn't on my radar.
Well, it got me thinking though, like, have we had upgrade purchases that were made that we've regretted?
Yeah. I would say so. Yes, definitely. Now that I think about it, I would say so. Maybe upgrade purchases, upgrade pressure. A small example, cell phone. Like I would just have, I would feel like I would have pressure from my friend group to upgrade my cell phone. I'll pull out my phone and they could tell us old, it sounds old. Don't take a picture of Ray's phone because the megapixels, weren't what everyone's accustomed to now. So yeah, I felt that pressure to go into the store and get the latest and greatest. So I didn't pull it out and sit it on the table while we're talking so you can kind of see it. I mean, that's a small example of, a kind of a bigger pressure to upgrade. I mean, what do you think? Like, do you recall any times where we kind of had that upgrade?
Well, what I immediately thought about was our first house. We were living very contentedly in a nice apartment. It was in a great neighborhood. The rent was very affordable, relatively speaking. It was a great apartment too. Like the actual layout was really nice. And we upgraded to not just getting a house. Because getting a house, that's a smart investment. Okay. But no, we got new construction, huge house with land, and everything. That's what I mean. Like it was upgrade. And I regretted it. I regretted it. First of all, learned, hey, we're city folk. We don't like land.
Yeah.
We don't know how to take care of land.
Yeah.
Land almost killed him when he tried to.
Yeah, it took about an hour to cut the grass. In the Carolina summer heat, it was just like,
He almost melted.
I'm done. But let me ask, how long do you think it took to realize
That this was a mistake?
this was a mistake, or I should have made this upgrade?
To be honest with you, I think it wasn't even a year. I don't think it was a year. The reason why is because, remember, we moved in the spring.
Yeah.
And those summer energy bills hit.
Oh, yeah.
Within months.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like a punch in the face.
Yes.
And then after by the time the end of that same year, right, happened, your commute got almost doubled because of just so much growth in this area. And plus, we had to move out there.
Yeah, we were forced
to get this big house with the land and everything like that. And so your commute to your job was treacherous.
Yeah, and also a comparison where my initial commute was 15 minutes. And then when we first moved to our location, maybe 30, 35 minutes was quickly turned to 40, 50. And next thing you know, I was doing about an hour and a half commute. And I did the math. Like it was the equivalent of me sitting in my car for a full week. That's basically how long my commute was. And I remember coming home just being frustrated, just having to drive in traffic, listening to podcasts, being tired. I only can listen to so many Audible books. Like cost of that alone, it just wasn't factored in. I saw this, big, shiny new home. I thought about the parties we could have, the people we could invite over. And we did that. But like you said, probably about a year in, started questioning like, why didn't we just move into something smaller?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, as I look back on that time, we really liked our apartment. It wasn't like we were living in this apartment and we're like, we hate this apartment, we gotta get out of here. Like, what was it? I mean, granted, investing in a home would have been a smart financial move.
Yeah.
But it could have been a condo. It could have been a nice little townhome. It was just two of us. We didn't need a huge house. We certainly didn't need a whole lot of land.
Sure.
So what was it? What was it that drove us? You know what I mean? To go all out with these upgrades.
And maybe it was the season in life we were in. You graduate, you have your parents' dream, you have your own dream of, home ownership. And it's like, okay, now is the time. And then, you read these headlines like, yeah, if you rent your whole life, you'll never become wealthy. You'll never become anything. You're going to be, homeless. So maybe it was just, I would say maybe a mixture of things
Yeah.
that were like, okay, now is the time. Now is the season. Bigger, better, stronger, faster.
Yeah. I call that the pressure of next.
Okay, sure.
That's the bigger, better. What I mean by it is this. You graduate college and it's like, okay, graduate college.
Yep.
What's next? Next. Build this career. Okay, you build this career. What's next? You gotta get married. Get married. Okay, got married. What's next? You gotta get a house. Oh, okay, got the house. What's next? You gotta have some kids. Okay, what's next? Have kids. You gotta get a bigger house.
Yeah.
And so it's just this
Cycle continues.
cycle of next, bigger, better, stronger, faster, and it is exhausting. And so I feel like, I can't blame that on like one particular person. I shouldn't say my parents or anybody, put that in there, put that on me. I think it's more so it's almost on something like almost systematic. Like that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Almost institutionalized.
But don't we all crave the American dream of, having a bigger home, picket fences, and then where we came from, inner city, row house, barely any land, narrow spaces. Yeah, I'm able to get this open space, open area home with a backyard and a deck, and have all these, be able to experience these things that we never experienced before. So I think some of it is just wanting that experience. But then once you taste it, it's like, nah, that's
not my taste.
Yeah, that's really not for us. Like I remember, side note from this, an upgrade, like going on vacation. We went on a vacation. We found an Airbnb in what we thought was a really nice community. Really nice home. We got to that community and it just felt so stuffy. We don't fit in here. We don't belong here. But then, we found another place. It was more artsy, more relaxed. And we were like,
it was in transition.
Yeah,
So there was some very interesting neighbors.
yeah, it's definitely in fantasy. But maybe that's just the type of communities we're used to, and that we feel comfortable in, and that's okay. But something tells us, no, you need to be 4-star hotels. You need to have luxury cars. You need to have symbols that represent your success. So I think there's an inner pressure and an outward pressure to do that. But the bigger question is, how can we have a reality check as quickly in advance as possible to say, what is really us?
Yeah.
What is our identity when it comes to this purchase? What is our identity when it comes to this, overall upgrade? With the house, it took about a year. With this, vacation, it only took a few days to us to figure out, we need to pivot. But how do you think we can come quickly to grips with, hey, this is who we are, and we want this because we like it, not because we have pressure.
Yeah, I think that is an important thing to consider and to ask oneself. It's like, what's driving me to strive for this, to go after this, to upgrade my lifestyle in this way? And I think oftentimes, I think we realize that, hey, there's a pressure that I am responding to, I'm reacting to. I may not even really want this. I just feel like I should want it.
Well, how can you have that presence of mind? Because I can make up anything. I can deceive myself, and instead of being honest. Like the truth is, I got this bonus. I'm driving a non-luxury brand. I believe it is time for me now to get a luxury brand. Why? Because I want this and I can afford to have it. Like, do you, not to go to Six Sigma training, but you ask the 5 whys, and then once you get to that last, like, why? But why? But why? Once you get to that 5th why, it's like, well, I want, I have upgrade pressure. I drink the Kool-Aid that I'm at this point in life, and this is what this point in life demands for me to have versus this is, what I'm content with having. And then that gets into a bigger.
And I think that's probably the place to start.
Yeah.
Is, am I content?
Are you content? Yeah, I was going to say that gets to a bigger question though. Am I content? Yeah.
I think that's the place to start for reflection. Am I content? Am I enjoying or taking the time, slowing down enough to realize that I like where I am, like this car, that I like this level of home. You know what I mean? That I'm in. I'm content.
I have enough.
Yeah, this is enough.
This is enough, and just being comfortable with that, being comfortable with yourself, and that. Yeah. Sure. So, what about you? Have you felt that upgrade pressure to, bigger, better, stronger, faster, or are you content? Either way, we'd love to know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, please like it and share it with a friend. And continue to follow us at Naked and Rich.